The Prophecies of Nostradamus. Century 10. 1. To the enemy faith promised will not be kept, the captives retained. One near death captured, and the remainder in their shirts. The remainder damned for being supported. 2. The ship's veil will hide the sail galley. The great fleet will come the lesser one to go out. 10 ships near will turn to drive it back. The great one conquered the united ones to join to itself. 3. After that 5 will not put out the flock. A fugitive for Penelon he will turn loose. To murmur falsely then help to come. The chief will then abandon the siege. 4. At midnight the leader of the army will save himself, suddenly vanished. 7 years later his reputation unblemished. To his return they will never say yes. 5. Albi and Castres will form a new league. 9 Arians Lisbon and the Portuguese. Carcassonne and Toulouse will end their intrigue. When the chief new monster from the Loriguais. 6. The Gardon will flood Nîmes so high that they will believe Deucalion reborn. Into the Colossus the greater part will flee. Vestitum fire to appear extinguished. 7. The great conflict that they are preparing for Nancy. The Macedonian will say I subjugate all. The British Isle in anxiety over wine and salt. Me. Philip II Metz will not hold for long. 8. With forefinger and thumb he will moisten the forehead. The Count of Senegalia to his own son. The Venus through several of thin forehead. 3 and 7 days wounded dead. 9. In the castle of Figueras on a misty day, a sovereign prince will be born of an infamous woman. Surname of breeches on the ground will make him posthumous. Never was there a king so very bad in his province. 10. Stained with murder and enormous adulteries. Great enemy of the entire human race. One who will be worse than his grandfathers, uncles or fathers. In steel, fire, waters, bloody and inhuman. 11. At the dangerous passage below Junquera. The posthumous one will have his band cross. To pass the Pyrenees mountains without his baggage. From Perpignan the Duke will hasten to Tenda. 12. Elected Pope, as elected he will be mocked. Suddenly unexpectedly moved prompt and timid. Through too much goodness and kindness provoked to die. Fear extinguished guides the night of his death. 13. Beneath the food of ruminating animals. Led by them to the belly of the fodder city. Soldiers hidden, their arms making a noise. Try not far from the city of Antibes. 14. Ernal vassal without a purpose on his own. Bold, timid, through fear overcome and captured. Accompanied by several pale whores. Convinced in the Carthusian convent at Barcelona. 15. Father Duke old in years and choked by thirst. On his last day his don denying him the jug. Into the well plunged alive he will come up dead. Senate to the thread death long and light. 16. Happy in the realm of France, happy in life. Ignorant of blood, death, fury and plunder. For a flattering name he will be envied. A concealed king, too much faith in the kitchen. 17. The convict queen seeing her daughter pale. Because of a sorrow locked up in her breast. Lamentable cries will come then from Angoulême. And the marriage of the first cousin impeded. 18. The house of Lorraine will make way for Vendôme. The high put low, and the low put high. The son of Mammon will be elected in Rome. And the 2 great ones will be put at a loss. 29. The day that she will be hailed as queen. The day after the benediction the prayer. The reckoning is right and valid. Once humble never was one so proud. 20. All the friend who will have belonged to the party. For the rude in letters put to death and plundered. Property up for sale at fixed price the great one annihilated. Never were the Roman people so wronged. 21. Through the spite of the kings supporting the lesser one, he will be murdered presenting the jewels to him. The father wishing to impress nobility on the son, does as the Magi did of yore in Persia. 22. For not wishing to consent to the divorce, which then afterwards will be recognized as unworthy, the king of the isles will be driven out by force. In his place put one who will have no mark of a king. 23. The remonstrances made to the ungrateful people. Thereupon the army will seize Antibes. The complaints will place Manes in the arch, and at Phrygia the one will take the shore from the other. 24. The captive prince conquered in Italy will pass Genoa by sea as far as Marseilles, through great exertion by the foreigners overcome, safe from gunshot, barrel of bees' liquor. 25. Through the Ebro to open the passage of Bisan. Very far away will the Tagus make a demonstration. In Pelagaux will the outrage be committed by the great lady seated in the orchestra. 26. The successor will avenge his brother-in-law, to occupy the realm under the shadow of vengeance. Obstacle slain his blood for the death blame. For a long time will Brittany hold with France. 27. Through the fifth one and a great Hercules, they will come to open the temple by hand of war. One Clement, Julius and Ascanius set back the sword, key, eagle. Never was there such a great animosity. 28. Second and third which make prime music, by the king to be sublimated in honor. Through the fat and the thin almost emaciated, by the false report of Venus to be debased. 29. In a cave of St. Paul de Mausole a goat, hidden and seized pulled out by the beard, led captive like a mastiff beast, by the Bigorre people brought to near Tarbes. 30. Nephew and blood of the new saint come. Through the surname he will sustain arches and roof. They will be driven out, put to death, chased nude. Into red and black will they convert their green. 31. The Holy Empire will come into Germany. The Ishmaelites will find open places. The asses will want also Carmania. The supporters all covered by earth. 32. The great empire, everyone would be of it. One will come to obtain it over the others. But his realm and state will be of short duration. 2 years will he be able to maintain himself on the sea. 33. The cruel faction in the long robe will come to hide under the sharp daggers. The Duke to seize Florence and the diphthong place, its discovery by immature ones and sycophants. 34. The Gaul who will hold the empire through war. He will be betrayed by his minor brother-in-law. He will be drawn by a fierce, prancing horse. The brother will be hated for the deed for a long time. 35. The younger son of the king flagrant in burning lust, to enjoy his first cousin. Female attire in the temple of Artemis, going to be murdered by the unknown one of Maine. 36. Upon the king of the stump speaking of wars, the united owl will hold him in contempt. For several good years one gnawing and pillaging, through tyranny in the isle esteem changing. 37. The great assembly near the lake of Bourget. They will meet near Montmelian. Going beyond the thoughtful ones will draw up a plan. Chambéry, Saint Jean de Maurienne, Saint Julien combat. 38. Sprightly love lays the siege not far. The garrisons will be at the barbarian Saint. The Orsini and Adria will provide a guarantee for the Gauls, for fear delivered by the army to the Grisons. 39. First son, widow, unfortunate marriage, without any children, 2 isles in discord. Before 18, incompetent age. For the other one the betrothal will take place while younger. 40. The young heir to the British realm, whom his dying father will have recommended. The latter dead Lonel will dispute with him. and from the sun the realm demanded. 41. On the boundary of Caussade and Calis, not at all far from the bottom of the valley, music from Villefranche to the sound of lutes, encompassed by cymbals and great stringing. 42. The humane realm of Anglican offspring. It will cause its realm to hold to peace and union. War half captive in its enclosure. For long will it cause them to maintain peace. 43. Too much good times, too much of royal goodness. One's made and unmade, quick, sudden, neglectful. Lightly will he believe falsely of his loyal wife. He put to death through his benevolence. 44. When a king will be against his people. A native of Blois will subjugate the Ligurians, Memel, Cordoba and the Dalmatians. Of the seven then the shadow to the king, New Year's money and ghosts. 45. The shadow of the realm of Navarre untrue. It will make his life one of fate unlawful. The vow made in Cambrai wavering. King Orleans will give a lawful wall. 46. In life, fate and death assorted, unworthy man of gold. He will not be a new elector of Saxony. From Brunswick he will send for a sign of love. The false seducer delivering it to the people. 47. At the garland lady of the town of Burgos. They will impose for the treason committed. The great prelate of Leon through Formand. Undone by false pilgrims and ravishers. 48. Banners of the deepest part of Spain. Coming out from the tip and ends of Europe. Troubles passing near the bridge of Lane. Its great army will be routed by a band. 49. Garden of the world near the new city. In the path of the hollow mountains. It will be seized and plunged into the tub. Forced to drink waters poisoned by sulfur. 50. The muse by day in the land of Luxembourg. It will find Saturn and three in the urn. Mountain and plain, town, city and borough. Flood and Lorraine, betrayed by the great urn. 51. Some of the lowest places of the land of Lorraine will be united with the Low Germans. Through those of the Sea Picards, Normans, those of Maine. And they will be joined to the cantons. 52. At the place where the Lys and the Scheldt unite. The nuptials will be arranged for a long time. At the place in Antwerp where they carry the chaff. Young old age wife undefiled. 53. The three concubines will fight each other for a long time. The greatest one the least will remain to watch. The great Selin will no longer be her patron. She will call him Fire Shield White Root. 54. She born in this world of a furtive concubine. At 2 rays high by the sad news. She will be taken captive by her enemies. And brought to Malines and Brussels. 55. The unfortunate nuptials will be celebrated. In great joy but the end unhappy. Husband and mother will slight the daughter-in-law. The Apollo dead and the daughter-in-law more pitiful. 56. The royal prelate his bowing too low. A great flow of blood will come out of his mouth. The Anglican realm around pulled out of danger. For long dead as a stump alive in Tunis. 57. The uplifted one will not know his scepter. He will disgrace the young children of the greatest ones. Never was there a more filthy and cruel being. For their wives the king will banish them to death. 58. In the time of mourning the feline monarch will make war upon the young Macedonian. Gaul to shake, the bark to be in jeopardy. Marseilles to be tried in the west to talk. 59. Within lions 25 of one mind. 5 citizens, Germans, Bressans, Latins. Under a noble one they will lead a long train. And discovered by barks of mastiffs. 60. I weep for Nice, Monaco, Pisa, Genoa. Savona, Siena, Capua, Medina, Malta. For the above blood and sword for a New Year's gift. Fire, the earth will tremble, water and unhappy reluctance. 61. Beta, Vienna, Immort, Chopron. They will want to deliver Pannonia to the barbarians. Enormous violence through pike and fire. The conspirators discovered by a matron. 62. Near Sorbia, to assail Hungary. The herald of Brud's dark ones will come to warn them. Byzantine chief, Salona of Slavonia. He will come to convert them to the law of the Arabs. 63. Sidonia, Ragusa, the city of St. Jerome. With healing help to grow green again. The king's son dead because of the death of two heroes. Araby and Hungary will take the same course. 64. Weep Milan, weep Lucca and Florence. As your great duke climbs into the chariot. The sea to change it advances to near Venice. When at Rome the Colonna will change. 65. O vast Rome, thy ruin approaches. Not of thy walls, of thy blood and substance. The one harsh in letters will make a very horrible notch. Pointed steel driven into all up to the hilt. 66. The chief of London through the realm of America. The Isle of Scotland will be tried by frost. King and Reb will face an antichrist so false that he will place them in the conflict altogether. 67. A very mighty trembling in the month of May. Saturn in Capricorn, Jupiter and Mercury in Taurus. Venus also, Cancer, Mars in Virgo. Hail will fall larger than an egg. 68. The army of the sea will stand before the city. Then it will leave without making a long passage. A great flock of citizens will be seized on land. Fleet to return to seize it great robbery. 69. The shining deed of the old one exalted anew. Through the south and Aquiline they will be very great. Raised by his own sister great crowds. Fleeing, murdered in the thicket of Ambelin. 70. Through an object the eye will swell very much. Burning so much that the snow will fall. The fields watered will come to shrink. As the primate succumbs at Reggio. 71. The earth and air will freeze a very great sea. When they will come to venerate Thursday. That which will be never was it so fair. From the four parts they will come to honor it. 72. The year 1999, 7th month. From the sky will come a great king of terror. To bring back to life the great king of the Mongols. Before and after Mars to reign by good luck. 73. The present time together with the past will be judged by the great Joker. The world too late will be tired of him. And through the clergy oath-taker disloyal. 74. The year of the great seventh number accomplished. It will appear at the time of the games of slaughter. Not far from the great millennial age. When the buried will go out from their tombs. 75. Long awaited he will never return. In Europe, he will appear in Asia. One of the league issued from the great Hermes. And he will grow over all the kings of the East. 76. The great Senate will ordain the triumph. For one who afterwards will be vanquished, driven out. At the sound of the trumpet of his adherents there will be put up for sale their possessions, enemies expelled. 77. 30 adherents of the order of Quatrains. Banished, their possessions given their adversaries. All their benefits will be taken as misdeeds. Fleet dispersed, delivered to the corsairs. 78. Sudden joy to sudden sadness. It will occur at Rome for the graces embraced. Grief, cries, tears, weeping, blood, excellent mirth. Contrary bands surprised and trussed up. 79. The old roads will all be improved. One will proceed on them to the modern Memphis. The great Mercury of Hercules fleur-de-lis, causing to tremble lands, sea and country. 80. In the realm the great one of the great realm reigning. Through force of arms the great gates of brass. He will cause to open, the king and duke joining. Fort demolished, ship to the bottom, day serene. 81. A treasure placed in a temple by Hesperian citizens. Therein withdrawn to a secret place. The hungry bonds to open the temple. Retaken, ravished, a horrible prey in the midst. 82. Cries, weeping, tears will come with knives. Seeming to flee, they will deliver a final attack. Parks around to set up high platforms. The living pushed back and murdered instantly. 83. The signal to give battle will not be given. They will be obliged to go out of the park. The banner around Ghent will be recognized. Of him who will cause all his followers to be put to death. 84. The illegitimate girl so high, high, not low. The late return will make the grieved ones contented. The reconciled one will not be without debates. In employing and losing all his time. 85. The old tribune on the point of trembling. He will be pressed not to deliver the captive. The will, non-will, speaking the timid evil. To deliver to his friends lawfully. 86. Like a griffin will come the king of Europe, accompanied by those of Aquiline. He will lead a great troop of red ones and white ones, and they will go against the king of Babylon. 87. A great king will come to take port near Nice. Thus the death of the great empire will be completed. And on Thebes will he place his heifer. The plunder by sea all will vanish. 88. Foot and horse at the second watch. They will make an entry devastating all by sea. Within the port of Marseilles he will enter. Tears, cries, and blood, never times so bitter. 89. The walls will be converted from brick to marble. 57 Pacific years. Joy to mortals, the aqueduct renewed. Health, abundance of fruits, joy and mellifluous times. 90. 100 times will the inhuman tyrant die. In his place put one learned and mild. The entire Senate will be under his hand. He will be vexed by a rash scoundrel. 91. In the year 1609, Roman clergy. At the beginning of the year you will hold an election. Of one gray and black issued from Campania. Never was there one so wicked as he. 92. Before his father the child will be killed. The father afterwards between ropes of rushes. The people of Geneva will have exerted themselves. The chief lying in the middle like a log. 93. The new bark will take trips. There and nearby they will transfer the empire. Beaucaire, Alls will retain the hostages. Nearby 2 columns of porphyry found. 94. Scorn from Nîmes, from Alls and Vienne. Not to obey the Hesperian edict. To the tormented to condemn the great one. 6 escaped in seraphic garb. 95. To the Spains will come a very powerful king. By land and sea subjugating the south. This evil will cause, lowering again the crescent. Clipping the wings of those of Friday. 96. The religion of the name of the seas will win out. Against the sect of the son of Adeluncative. The stubborn, lamented sect will be afraid. Of the 2 wounded by Ana. 97. Triremes full of captives of every age. Good time for bad, the sweet for the bitter. Pray to the barbarians hasty they will be too soon. Anxious to see the feather wail in the wind. 98. For the merry maid the bright splendor will shine no longer, for long will she be without salt. With merchants, bullies, wolves, odious. All confusion universal monster. 99. The end of wolf, lion, ox and ass. Timid deer they will be with mastiffs. No longer will the sweet manna fall upon them. More vigilance, and watch for the mastiffs. 100. The great empire will be for England. The all-powerful one for more than 300 years. Great forces to pass by sea and land. The Lusitanians will not be satisfied thereby.